My name is Lindsay King. I'm a wedding and event photographer based out of Washington, D.C. My mom gave me my first camera when I was like 13, so it's been something that I've dabbled in pretty much my whole life, it feels like. And I probably really started pursuing it in high school, taking some actual classes then. And then I actually went to college for photography, so my degree's in photojournalism. So I feel like I've been doing photography forever. I really love the aspect of wedding photography where I get to capture the images that are essentially going to be someone's memories. So you're documenting some very important part of their life that then they look back on those images and that's how they remember what it felt like to be there, what their friends and family did for them. It's kind of like protecting someone's life story, which I think is really cool. I shoot about 15 weddings a year. On top of that, with engagements, proposals, we also do some event coverage at places like the Press Club. Usually at the end of a wedding day, I'll have some like lower back pain, a little bit of tense shoulders. Sometimes my hands are pretty tired at the end of it too.
From holding your camera.
Mm-hmm.
How long would a shoot typically last?
Most of our weddings are about 8 hours.
Okay, and you're doing that how many times a week?
Once or twice. Yeah.
Once or twice a week. Okay. So one of the things that you could potentially do is switch straps or look at some different strap styles. So we actually have a couple of different options here from Holdfast. This is it looks a little complicated, but it's relatively simple. You kind of put it on like a backpack. And then it allows your cameras to hang at your center of gravity, and then you pull it up to use it, and then you can drop it back down to your center of gravity, but it would put equal pressure here, because that's one of the problems, is that the weight becomes unevenly distributed. So let's try that.
Cool.
So the idea is to have your cameras as close to your center of gravity as possible so that when you're walking around, it's easy to do, and it helps you maintain that neutral alignment and neutral posture. So I would even yeah, exactly. So it'll help. You can relax here, but it'll kind of help keep your shoulders down and back, which is your neutral position versus here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then for using the camera, so go ahead and grab. Yep. So it allows you to use it. Yep. And then you can just put it back down. So this Holdfast system allows you to have even weight distribution across your shoulders. It allows you to have your shoulders in a more ergonomically appropriate position, and is a good system for equally distributing that weight and putting the cameras at your center of gravity versus off to one side or in keeping you sort of out of that crooked position. So being able to go up, take your pictures, and then put it back down at your center of gravity is a really optimal way to handle that much weight. OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, defines your sort of neutral zone being anything within sort of easy reach. So like sitting at your desk, if you're in your neutral position, your shoulder, elbow, hip, anything within this zone is a primary work zone and something that they consider a low to no risk factor place to work. As soon as you get outside that, they consider it a risk factor if you spend more than 30% of your day outside of that zone. So if your center of gravity is considered sort of a primary area where you could carry weight, when you start to go outside of that zone for more than 30% of your day, it's going to be considered a risk factor. And so what that basically says is it doesn't mean that you will get injured, but it means you're more likely to experience some discomfort. You want to keep it as close to your center of gravity as possible, and you want to keep it there for as much of the day as possible.